you always harp on that one thing the fantasy community consistently gets wrong is just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean it can't happen. So I'm taking this to Travis Hunter. And I want to get your take on Travis Hunter being the guy. So one, you just tell me how you feel about Travis Hunter as a player and what you think he's best suited to do in the, kind of the NFL right now. But just because a player hasn't played both ways, could he still?
Sure.
So I kind of want to just get your Travis Hunter take and how you're handling him from a fantasy football stance, because everyone seems to be like, well, they've got 1 foot in, but they've also got 1 foot out.
Yeah. No, don't overthink this. He's number 2 in your rookie drafts. This is the reason to not trade out of 1-2 to get up to 1-1. He's the best wide receiver in this class. Okay. Yes. He's also the best cornerback in this class. But what's exciting about him is that whatever a team's plan is, he's going to alter that by his impact. So a team might go in saying, well, he's going to be a full-time cornerback, but we're only going to play him a package of 20 plays on offense. But if he's impactful on those 20 plays on offense, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. I really want him to end up with the Patriots. I mean, in terms of maximizing his value and having a coach, Mike Vrabel, who is willing to say, we're going to let this guy shine. So I think people are overthinking this because it isn't just based on the plan or what's happened before. We have not seen someone like Travis Hunter before, and it's not just athleticism. It's not just skills. The two things translate across. One of the most frustrating things, going back to one of my original hits, Brandon Marshall, one of the things that I saw in Brandon Marshall's game back in the day before he was drafted was he spent a year as a safety and was a pretty good safety at Central Florida. And now you saw when a player was going to jam him at the line, he would just throw him to the ground. Whenever the ball was in the air, that space belonged to him. He had a my ball mentality. So Travis Hunter being wired as a ball thief, Travis Hunter being wired as a player who has to compete for space as a cornerback has greatly improved what he has to offer. He's not just a speed wide receiver. He's not a finesse wide receiver. So I think that whatever he does, the other thing I'll say, Rich, just to tie this all together, is that there's no reason that he can't play about 60 or 70% of the snaps on both sides of the ball. And you just don't have him out there on obvious run situations. You don't have him out there on early downs. There's no need for him to absorb that punishment anyway, whether we're talking about taking on a blocker as a cornerback or blocking or otherwise being on these plays. I do think, going back to the running back by committee discussion, there's nothing you're tipping off. And if teams really are thinking, oh, Travis Hunter's not out there, we know it's going to be a running play. Well, then you change it up on them. Or Travis Hunter is out there, it's going to be a pass play. NFL coaches are a little more subtle thinkers than that. So I think that the caliber of his talent, the ability to translate, and the ability for those skills and traits to start to magnify and build on each other because he's playing. I mean, think about, if you understand the cornerback position, how much easier it is to get yourself open as a wide receiver. Think about as a wide receiver, just this is unprecedented and it's really exciting. And it is the one reason to not trade out of the 1-2.
When I wrote this up and I wrote up his profile, I was just like, it's crazy that we're like talking ourselves out of, what potentially is like almost like Shohei Ohtani coming to baseball.
Yes.
It's just like, what if he is like, it's not just, and people use the phrase unicorn too often, but like, I even wrote up as like, why can't he play a lot of snaps on both sides? Everyone keeps saying he's only going to play like a sprinkling on offense or defense. Like you said,
why
are we shortchanging this and saying like that's the only avenue? Like that's the pipeline everyone's going to as a median outcome. What if the median outcome is what you said? What if the median outcome is he is playing basically 2/3 of the snaps on both sides of the ball and not coming in obvious rundowns and stuff like that? Like it feels like we're talking ourselves, basically, as I'm saying, is we're talking ourselves out of a very good football player because we don't understand what the fantasy value is going to be. But when you put it in the context of this class, like you're not taking him over Marvin Harrison Jr., you're not taking him over Malik Neighbors, right? Like,
right.
It's Tet McMillan and Matthew Golden. Like,
right.